Why are McDonald's becoming increasingly rare? I wonder if you've noticed a trend in the commercial operation of modern cities. A phenomenal service that once covered the vast majority of locations nationwide is being stripped away at an astonishing rate. This service is the operation of the global fast food giant McDonald's. In past commercial perception, McDonald's was highly synonymous with open 24 hours, even regarded as a type of urban infrastructure. But if we pull up the store operational data from recent years, we see a cliff-like drop in the curve. At its peak, over 80% of McDonald's stores in China maintained an overnight operating model. Today, that number has plummeted to less than 20%. Furthermore, these remaining sub-20% overnight stores are almost precisely restricted to airports, high-speed rail stations, areas around hospitals, and a very small number of core nightlife districts. This isn't just an adjustment of individual stores, but a nationwide strategic shutdown. In an era that boasts an increasingly developed night economy, why would a multinational catering giant with an extremely strong supply chain system choose to actively abandon the nighttime market? Today, we will peel back the surface and, from the three dimensions of the single-store profit model, the restructuring of consumption patterns, and strategic shifts, perform a hardcore teardown of the brutal commercial logic behind McDonald's late-night power outage. The underlying logic of commercial operations is always ROI, return on investment. The most direct catalyst for McDonald's massive shutdown of overnight operations is that the financial metrics of the nighttime single-store model have completely lost their balance. Let's break down the ledger of a McDonald's store between 2:00 a.m. and 6:00 a.m. First is the ever-climbing labor cost. According to macro industry data from 2019 to 2025, the average hourly wage in the domestic fast food industry surged by Baffinger. And during the late-night hours, based on labor laws and market supply and demand, companies must pay an additional Baffinger to Baffinger in night shift allowances. For a store to maintain BACC operations in the middle of the night, including the kitchen, cashier, and cleaning it, requires a minimum of 2 to 3 employees. In terms of labor costs alone, the nighttime period costs several times more than the same time frame during the day. Second is the staggering invisible attrition. Staying open means that large-scale central air conditioning, full store lighting, and high-power kitchen equipment must run continuously, keeping electricity expenses stubbornly high. Even more fatal is the food waste rate in the catering industry. To ensure the instant-serving nature of fast food, stores must pre-prep semi-finished products. But the high-quality tasting window for burger buns, lettuce, and fried foods is extremely short. The extremely low density of nighttime orders directly causes the nighttime food waste rate to soar to over 3 times that of the daytime. So, what revenue does such high fixed expenditure bring in? Data shows that for the vast majority of non-hub locations, nighttime foot traffic is only Baffinger to Baffinger of daytime peaks. Worse still, among the people who enter the store during this time, the effective consumption conversion rate is incredibly low. Most of the foot traffic does not result in actual transactions. Instead, people use the dining area as a free resting space. When the marginal cost far exceeds the marginal revenue, continuing to operate a nighttime store that is not only unprofitable, but constantly bleeding money clearly violates BACC business common sense. If it were merely rising costs, McDonald's might be able to hedge by raising product prices. But what truly pressed the kill switch on 24-hour dine-in service was the systemic restructuring of society's nighttime consumption patterns. The nighttime suspension of many stores began during pandemic control measures. However, when society returned to normal, McDonald's discovered that the original demand had disappeared. The first interceptor is the fully mature O2O food delivery network. The highly developed delivery system has completely changed how people acquire late-night meals. The rigid demand for dine-in consumption has been largely replaced by the 30 minutes to your door instant delivery. Faced with this irreversible trend, McDonald's solution is replacing heavy assets with light assets. They take on nighttime orders through smaller cloud kitchens or delivery-only stalls with no seating. Since they can do nighttime business at an extremely low cost, there is absolutely no need to keep an entire premium dining room running all night for just a handful of dine-in customers. The second interceptor is the penetration of 24-hour convenience store chains. Modern convenience store systems, represented by Family Mart, Lawson, and Beyond Lifing, are achieving full coverage of urban capillaries. With their extremely high network density, combined with a rich variety of low-barrier fast foods like Odin, microwavable bento boxes, and freshly ground coffee, they have precisely cut into the ecological niche of late-night instant hunger relief. This lighter, more convenient business format has created a massive siphon effect on McDonald's already thin nighttime foot traffic. Under the dual attack of substitutes and new business formats, the commercial value of McDonald's late-night dine-in halls has been completely hollowed out. Aside from the explicit losses on the financial statements, there is an unquantifiable hidden cost: the friction of organizational management. The entire catering industry is currently facing a structural labor shortage. Because overnight shifts take a massive toll on the human body, the supply side of night shift labor is facing a rupture. Even if many stores are willing to pay high subsidies, they cannot recruit enough staff to ensure even the most boss-CC kitchen output and security work. Furthermore, overnight operations are often accompanied by an exponential increase in security risks. During the late night, with a complex mix of people and sparse staff, it is very easy for emergencies like property theft or drunken disputes to occur. Large numbers of non-consuming individuals lingering for long periods not only easily degrade hygiene conditions, but also lead to consumer complaints and community disputes. From a corporate risk management perspective, taking on such a high safety premium and management risk for negligible nighttime profits is clearly a very bad deal. The large-scale abandonment of 24-hour operations in no way implies that McDonald's is declining. On the contrary, it reveals an epic leap in McDonald's China's operational strategy. In the early years, due to a limited number of locations, IT's core growth logic was time expansion, relying on extending the operating hours of individual stores infinitely to cover more consumer demand and thereby build a brand moat. But today, its strategy has completely pivoted to spatial density expansion. According to McDonald's FY Arling Arwu financial report, the number of new McDonald's restaurants opened in mainland China in Arling Arwunian exceeded 1,000, bringing the total number of stores to over 10,000 and achieving full coverage of all provincial-level administrative regions nationwide. The even grander blueprint is that they are sprinting full throttle toward the terrifying scale of 1,000家门店. By 2028年, under this strategy, McDonald's no longer needs to rely on a single store fighting tooth and nail to stay open 24 hours. Through refined big data calculations, they can clearly map out the revenue curve for every time slot of a single store. Decisively cutting off the nighttime slots that fall into the loss-making zone allows them to take the saved labor, capital, ingredients, and operational resources and push all their chips into the highly profitable daytime peak hours, as well as store expansion in the vast lower-tier markets. This is a textbook case of cost reduction and efficiency enhancement and resource reorganization. The business world has no room for sentimentality, only efficiency. The mass closure of overnight operations by McDonald's is an extremely rational business decision. IT validates the maturity of China's food delivery infrastructure, reflects the iteration of physical retail formats, and perfectly demonstrates how a multinational giant, in the face of shifting consumer habits, can achieve even more massive territorial expansion by pruning its inefficient branches. In this efficiency-first era, knowing when to open the doors to make money is common sense, but knowing when to decisively close the doors to stop losses is true commercial wisdom. Alright, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.